What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nash here, welcome back to the channel. Now before we get into today's video guys, we are now officially 21 subs away from 200. We're getting there guys, we are getting there, and it's gonna happen. By the end of this summer, we will get to 200. I know we can do it. I know we can do it. It's going to happen. Let's see if we can make the dream a reality, because the moment we get to 200 subs, I'm opening up this Korean Strike of Neos booster box in its entirety on the channel, all the hopes of potentially pull this guy, Elemental Hero Air Neos, the so-called forbidden Yu-Gi-Oh card. Is it really forbidden? I'll let you be the judge of that. If this channel gets to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners over at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support the channel, it also supports them as well. And I would greatly appreciate it if you guys check them out. They are absolutely incredible. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia. The possibilities are out there, guys. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel, on the hopes to potentially pull my second ever collector's rare that I also, this box right here, this right here, also got from my partners at Collector Store. But if we were to pull a collector's rare from that box, it wouldn't be the first time I pulled a collector's rare. Because I pulled this out of a Genesis Impact box. I pulled this collector's rare B-Cop from the Underworld. It is absolutely gorgeous. So if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue. Deck profiles, card discussions, WWE Top 2 videos, or maybe, just maybe, you want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys have not done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and be sure to follow me on all of my social media if you haven't done so already. All the info, all of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below, answering the question of the day, which is this. What archetype do you guys want to see get new support in core booster sets? Because for today's video, excuse me, I'm going to be talking about the brand new Vices lore cards that will be in Age of Overlord. And I'm going to be honest, the Vices line, you know the Bestials, the Kashtira line, the tier limit cards, all these cards that work with Vices, Starfrost is absolutely amazing. I wouldn't be surprised if someone out there in the world created a deck where it not only featured the tier limit cards, but it also featured the Kashtira cards. All these different cards that work, that are part of Vices. I wouldn't be surprised if someone created a deck that had all those cards combined. I wouldn't be surprised. But it would be interesting to say the very least. So hopefully you guys are ready for this video, and let's get straight into it. Kicking things off, we got Vices Samsara, which is a 4-star light fairy tuner with 1500 attack and 2100 defense, and the second effect is a once per turn, but it has 3 separate effects. The first effect reads: this card's name becomes Vices Starfrost while on the field or in the grave. Second effect, which is a once per turn, you can target any number of your Vices monsters that are banished on your field and or in your grave, shuffle them into the deck, then And if you do, special summon this card from your hand. And if you do that, it gains 400 attack for each monster with different names shuffled by this effect. So this is sort of like a mini pot of avarice, but instead of drawing a card, you're actually Cyber Dragoning this card from your hand, which is actually kind of nuts. Which is kind of nuts, because that effect right there is basically a one card like rank 4 exceeds, or it could be like a one card like Link 2 or something like that, depending on what your board looks like. That's actually not too bad. The third effect though is where it gets really weird. If this card you control would be used as single material, you can treat it as a non-tuner. So even if you had a second tuner on board, this card basically becomes a non-tuner, which is kind of strange. Using 2 tuner monsters to synchro summon one monster, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Isn't that weird? I feel like it's weird. Me personally, I feel like it's weird. Because when you think about it, when you really think about it, the idea for synchro summoning is a tuner and a non-tuner, or like 2 tuners and a non-tuner, or 3 tuners and 2 non-tuners, or whatever, depending on what you want to summon. That's the basic idea. But using 2 tuners to synchro summon is just about as bizarre as using 2 non-tuner monsters to synchro summon. That's just how I see it. But all in all, though, this is actually a pretty good card. Being able to just take cards from your banished pile and in your graveyard and shuffle them back into your deck and special summon this card directly from your hand, that's not a bad, that's a pretty good effect. Next up, we've got Veta. Veta. What the hell? Veta. Upanishad? What the fuck? I don't know, guys. Guys, you guys know I do these videos via YG Organization, and I would show you guys the card, but unfortunately I'm unable to. I could try. The only thing I could probably do is just show it off like this. If you look at the name, the name just looks so weird. Doesn't it? Doesn't it look weird? It's a weird ass name. But it is apparently a 12-star Dark Warrior Pendulum with 0 attack, 4,000 defense, and pen scale is 0. It has 3 pendulum effects and 2 monster effects. The first pendulum effect reads, once per chain of a monster is destroyed, place 3 counters on this card. Second effect reads, if this card's pendulum scale is increased by the number of counters on it. Third pendulum effect reads, you can remove 12 counters from this card, special summon it. That right there is pretty good. That right there is pretty good. It's a 12-star. It can help you go into rank 12s if you had any rank 12s in the deck, which is kind of cool. But its monster effect, it says that it cannot be normal summon or set. It must be special summoned by its own pendulum effect. It can only special summon this card once per turn. The first effect reads, once per turn, if your opponent special summons a monster from the extra deck, you can banish 12 cards from your hand, field, and or graveyard face down. It becomes the end phase of the turn. Oh. Talk about a disruption. That right there is quite the disruption. Damn. That's kind of nasty. That's like probably one of the nastiest like card effects I've seen ever. And that's saying a lot, and that's saying a lot, because I've seen a lot of nasty effects over the years. That might be the nastiest of them all. The second effect says, once per turn during your standby phase, return this card to the hand, then you can special summon one of your Veda monsters that is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard. Okay. I mean, it's kind of... I mean, you are able to tag it out for another body, which that's not bad. That's not bad. I'm not gonna say much about it. There's a note underneath that says a Upanishad refers to late era Vedic and post-Vedic texts that end up defining what would become modern Hindu theory and thought. Alright, it's a nice little lesson there. Next up, we've got Manadium Trilosukta. I believe is how it's pronounced. I probably butchered that. It's a 6-star Light Fairy Synchro tuner with 2300 attack, 1300 defense, and it requires a tuner and a non-tuner, so pretty generic. And both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, if this card is synchro summoned, you can target one level 2 tuner in your grave, special summon it, but its effects are negated. So it basically is similar to like cards like Martial Metal Marcher and that Shaman. I can't think of its name. Sorry guys, I got the runs. My nose is runny. You guys are gonna have to forgive me. I'm gonna blow my nose. You guys are gonna have to forgive me. I apologize, guys. Okay. Forgive me, guys. Forgive me. I apologize. No, it's not. It's not that I'm sick. It might be just allergies especially during the summer. Allergies can be a bit excessive, if you will. But anyway, as I was saying, with this effect, it's basically similar to like cards like Martial Metal Marcher, cards like what was it, Double Celestial Shaman? I think it's the name. So not bad. It's a nice little like Monster Reborn effect. It can help you summon back Formula Synchron. The only problem though is that you can't use Formula's effect, which is a bit of a downside. But you can still use it as you can still synchro with it, which is pretty cool. The second effect reads, you can target any number of tuners you control. Their levels become 2, and you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except synchro monsters. Ooh, excuse me. So basically, this is pretty generic. Even counter fairies can actually run this card. Even like even like pretty much like any like light base deck that can run tuner synchros or whatever that you know like Formula Synchron or what in the like, even Stardust decks can actually run this card, which is pretty cool. So this would be a really cool a really cool way to summon out Shooting Quasar. Actually, it's kind of crazy. I think Quasar requires what a tuner, a synchro tuner. I think. Give me a second. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going on Nexus. Okay, let's go to deck. Stardust. Here we are. Let's go Stardust. And if I remember correctly, a tuner synchro plus 2 or more non-tuner synchros. Yeah. So basically, you can target like any monsters with, well, I thought it was any monster, but it's actually tuner monsters. Their levels become 2. So the idea would be for you to use this one card plus any 3 monsters that make up 6. So in this deck, it would be what? It would be what? For a Stardust deck, it would be what? It would be what? Junk Speeder plus Junk Warrior if it became levels. If it became a 1-star monster. That's not bad. That's not bad. Funny thing though, with Quasar, there is a simple way to summon it, and that's limit overdrive. The problem is that it takes a lot of setup. That's the only downside. I am gonna be doing an update on that Stardust deck at some point. Don't really know when though, unfortunately, but it will happen at some point. But we do have to move on. We do have to move on. This is basically just a way to spam your board with tuner monsters and make your tuner monsters level 2, and it can help you go into your synchro plays a lot quicker, which is pretty cool. Next up, we've got Planetary Elegy, which is a normal spell, and the second effect is a once per turn. The first effect reads, add 1 Veda monster from your deck to your hand. Basically, it's a Rhoda. It's a Rhoda with a bit of a interesting effect. The second effect reads, if a face-up tuner you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, while this card is in your grave and Vice the Starfox is on the field, you can banish this card, target one of those destroyed monsters, add it to your hand. So not only is this a Rhoda, but this is also a monster reincarnation. So it basically allows you to take that monster that was destroyed and add it to your hand. But if it's a monster that was summoned from the extra deck, it goes back to the extra deck, and during your second main phase, you would be able to special summon it, especially if it was during your battle phase. Which is actually kind of cool. I believe there are only a couple more cards to talk about. We got 1, 2, 3. Yeah. So we have 3 more cards to talk about in this video. And the first of the last 3 is called Planetary Eulogy, which is a quick play spell, and both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, target 1 monster you control and 1 effect monster your opponent controls, destroy that monster you control, and negate the opponent's monster's effect until the end of the turn. Then if Vice the Starfox is on the field, you can destroy the targeted monster. Basically, it's sort of like 2-prong attack, but instead of destroying, instead of it being a 2 for 2, this comes as a 2 for 1 because you can basically just pop any monster that actually wants to be in the graveyard that's on your field, and pop, I'll say, your opponent's, Overlord Savage Dragon, let's just say that. Both monsters get destroyed if Vice the Starfox is on the field, which is pretty cool. This is, again, this does take a little bit of setup, because of the fact that with Vice the Starfox, you don't usually use you don't usually use him in on the board. You usually use him in when it's in the graveyard for the most part, but still it's not too bad. Second effect reads, during your main phase, if a Veda monster card is on the field, you can banish this card from your grave and destroy one monster you control. So sorry guys, something got caught in my throat and it won't go down. Happens every fucking time. Anyway, so the idea for this is to basically destroy a monster that they have that actually wants to be in the graveyard, which in my opinion, I feel like that this is only gonna I feel like this is a one-off, and I say that because of the fact that you really don't want to destroy your own board to where it gives your opponent an advantage. So that's why I would probably put this at 1, or probably just probably put this in the category of a gimmicky card in my personal opinion. That's just how I see it. But still pretty decent. Next up, we have Sarga, which is a normal trap, and both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, if Ice of Starfrost is on the field, target one effect monster on the field, shuffle that target into the deck, and if you do, during the end phase of the turn, its owner can add one monster from their deck to the hand with a different type and a lower level than the shuffled monster's level, rank, or link rating. That's not bad. So it basically is like end phase Rhoda, which is pretty cool, which is kind of cool. Second effect reads, if a Veda monster is special summoned while this card is in your grave, you can add this card to your hand. So this is an easy like 2-of, because if you run 3, you're gonna end up breaking. So this is like an easy 2-of, and what's cool about this is that you can break your own board with this card, but still be able to bring it back out onto the field, and during the end phase you would still be able to add the monster to your hand from the deck, which is pretty cool. There's a note underneath that says Sarv or Sharv is Sanskrit for to kill or to destroy, and is a root word for Lord Shiva, the god who represents the face of destruction in the universe. Sarga means to create. The two worlds together mean to destroy and to create. Okay, you know what? That's actually a pretty good one. That's a nice little like a nice little a nice little mythological lesson right there, if you will. That's pretty cool. The last one is Loka Samsara, which is a normal trap, and both of its effects are once per turn. The first effect reads, banish one face-up Vice Starfrost you control until the end phase. Special summon one heart monster with 3k attack from your action deck, ignoring its summoning condition. But it can only activate its effect once, and banish it face down during the end phase. Second effect reads, if your opponent special summons a monster from the action deck while this card is in your grave, you can add this card to your hand. So this is again, just like Sarga, this is an easy 2-of. It's pretty cool that there are cards that let you add themselves back to the hand. That's actually kind of cool. But I will admit, this is a bit of an odd one, because when you really think about it, this is kind of like Waking the Dragon. But the only difference is that with Waking the Dragon, it takes a lot of setup. It literally takes your opponent's back row removal cards to use its effect, which that's a pretty good bait. It's a good bait. And I'm kind of surprised that there aren't a whole lot of decks that run Waking the Dragon, although I've had a reputation to put Waking the Dragon in certain decks that can actually use the card, like Blue Eyes and in the like. So this is pretty cool. This is a pretty cool one. There's a note underneath that says Loka is the Sanskrit word for world in both the literal sense and in the this modern age sense, while samsara means the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Nice little lesson right there. It's a nice little lesson right there. But guys, that's it. That's gonna do it for today's video. Honestly, looking at these cards, not sure. Maybe the synchro could be useful. Maybe the 4-star monster could also be useful. The pendulum monster, don't really see it being useful at at all. But only time will tell. But that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more card discussions in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.